Welcome to our Monday night final expense training call every single Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we talk about final expense, everything related to final expense, and the most natural cross sales that occur in this business with the different product lines that we're able to sell. So I appreciate everyone, as per usual, for joining. So what I want to talk about this evening is your own book of business, working your book of business, whether you're a new agent, right, that's just getting into the industry, or you're a seasoned agent. It's very important to understand who your clients are, right? Continuing to market to your clients. But the reality is, I'm going to give you guys the truth here. Most agents don't do anything when it comes to a CRM. That's okay. I'm not great at it myself, but good news is I have carrier portals. I have a snipping tool on my desktop, right? Where I can go ahead and it's called Snagit, or you could use snipping tool on any computer, and I can screenshot each one and I can create a folder in any cloud that I use or on my desktop, and I can screenshot every single client that I have, and I could write that down. Another thing that's really cool is the Medicare worksheet. So if we're looking at, or I'm sorry, not Medicare, final expense worksheet. So something as simple as that can for an agent, right, can be something that can really help you when it comes to saving that information. And I'm going to show you guys the pitch and everything that I do when I'm calling my existing clients. So what I want to do real quick is I just want to give you all an overview. So you go to my website, finalexpensemastery.com. Let's go into the FE portal. So right here, the first drop down, that's the quoting section. When you go to the quoting section, there we go. Okay, cool. Sorry, I clicked the wrong button. All right, so when you go to the quoting section, what's going to happen, or that's EAP training rather, quoting section will bring you just straight up to the quotes itself. And for some reason, it's loading slow. My computer was doing this earlier, unfortunately. Don't know why. Okay, so bear with me while that gets going. There we go. Okay, it's a little lag time. So we have the quoting section. We have all the different quoters that you want. Okay, so I probably should add some more in here, which is a little note that I'll write down for myself. As carriers come up, I want to add different quoters for you guys. So that's jumping around. There we go. Cool. All right, now it's good. So right here, we have FX quotes. You can go into FX quotes, FEX quotes, and you can run quotes over here for yourself on this one. You click get quotes now, and you're going to be able to run all that stuff and see which carriers are going to be the best. The cheapest carrier means what, guys? The cheapest carrier means you make the least amount of money if you sell them. If you sell the cheapest, you're going to make the least amount of money. Literally, one, because most of the time they pay lower contract levels, but two, if you're selling a $10,000 policy for $50 a month, and I'm selling a $10,000 policy for $55 a month, $5 ain't going to make the bank, ain't going to break the bank for nobody. Okay. None of our clients, and I hope not. Right. So if $5 is the difference, for you or for the client, then it's probably not a policy that's going to stay on the books anyways, but $5 per application extra in premium. And if you're writing 40 apps a month, times an extra $5, that's an extra $60 per app, and you're writing 40 apps a month, that's $2,400, or an extra 28 grand in a year, just by increasing your average annual premium by $5 per month. You just made on 40 apps, right? A month, you just made an extra 30 grand. So I don't always like to sell the cheapest company. And of course, these carriers, the cheapest one isn't always the best fit, because price is definitely a different factor. So if you go over here to the final expense training, we have our EAP training. Okay. So we got the EAP training over here. That's going to teach you every single EAP. It's going to bring you to the portals, right? It's going to bring you to this is the EAP PDF. So it's going to have all that different stuff for you all that you guys need. Okay. So we're going to have all the cool tools in there. Intro to the final expense section of it, right? So, hey, how do I get in the lead center? Great question. We got that over there. Here's all the different things that you guys need, all the buttons that you need, okay, in order to get whatever you need. If you need to order stuff, here's an example of the business card that I have. This is a paper card. That's the one prior to me putting my picture on it. Yeah, so just imagine that with a picture on it of me. That's literally all that it is. A thank you card, something as simple as this is what I send out to the clients, right? It's literally that simple. There's nothing complex. I flip it over. It's a matte finish on the front, or on the back rather, and I write on it. Right? That's all that it is. So all this different stuff, all these different things are already in front of you. And then once we get to let's go to pre-sales training real quick. Using the quoter, showing proper premium, door knocking, appointment setting. Okay. All that stuff, making sure that you're ordering delivery notices. And then here's what I want to get to for the most basic of CRMs. Okay. This is it. This is our final expense client worksheet. So if you are terrible, you might not be good with technology, right? You might not be good with organization. You might not be good with keeping up with clients. But I'll tell you, if you have something as basic as this, which is literally all the information that you need to sell the client more insurance, okay? If you got that information, you can write as much business as you possibly like throughout your career. This is all you need. Look at that, one page. The Medicare worksheet, I added more stuff to it because sometimes you could sell annuities off those as well. So this is all you need. Let's cover it. First name, right? Their full name, phone number, full address, social security number, date of birth, their bank name, account, and the routing number. What type of account is it checking? Is it a saving? What insurance carrier do they have? What's their premium? How much do they have for their face amount, right? What's their draft date? Are they tobacco user? Are they have Medicare, right? Ooh, I'm not selling Medicare yet. Maybe I should just check these boxes and I can always revisit them, right? Driver's license and expiration date. What's their rating class, preferred, level, level, graded, modified, whatever you want. Primary beneficiaries, medications that they take, health conditions, contingent beneficiaries, direct express if they have it, expiration date and CVV, their height, their weight, male, female, right? This is all you need to write policies. That's it. That's all that you need. You don't need anything else, right? Maybe some people say, hey, you need to know who their doctor is. Great, write in health conditions. Perfect. Write it in medications. Write the stuff down that you think might be missing from there, or just write it in. If you're using Notability, hey, you could go ahead and do this. So for me, when I first started, I got in the business in 2014. When I first started, I had paper applications from Transamerica. Like that was my CRM, literally. That was, yeah, Tim knows, right? All that I had was the paper apps from Transamerica. It was paper apps in general. I mean, that was the whole industry. There was no e-apps back then, right? It was all mostly everything was paper. So paper was like the key, right? That was it. Like I loved having those paper apps and submitting them. I knew how to do it with Transamerica to make sure I didn't get an amendment, because we used to call Transamerica Trans Amendment, right? Because of how many amendments you get every single application. So I would make sure that I'd scrub that app and get it. And I didn't realize, since I wasn't building a CRM, right? Some type of CRM, I didn't realize that since I wasn't building one, that this would be my future CRM. Okay. So I didn't know that. And what is a CRM? Let's kind of walk backwards through there. Okay. So what a CRM is, it stands for Customer Relationship Manager. What that does for you is going to store all the data that you need. Okay. For your client. It's your client. Hey, all the stuff that's on this final expense worksheet, I'll go back to screen share on it real quick. Everything that's on this final expense worksheet, that's what it is. It's just stored somewhere on some type of web-based, whatever it is. If it's the cloud, it doesn't matter. Wherever it is, it's stored somewhere, and it can be as simple as Google Sheets, or it can be as complex as paying for some type of software from Zoho CRM, or less annoying, or it can be, I use Monday.com, which is a project management tool. So there's a million different things that you can do. But sometimes, I will tell you, in life, you'll see sometimes agents want to know everything before they do anything, and then they end up doing nothing. That's a huge thing that I see. Hey, tell me about that CRM you got. Tell me about, hey, how do I get that started? Tell me about this. It's like, hey, number one thing, get out in the field and start selling, right? Worry about the rest later. You fill out this worksheet. I promise you, you fill out this worksheet, we'll worry about the rest of that stuff later. I just need you to start generating revenue. I need you to start making some money, right? And remember, we don't charge any fees every month. We don't charge any fees. We literally don't charge agents fees. The only time that we make money is when you're out in the field selling. So our objective is to get you selling, but we don't just want you to sell today. We want you to sell in the future as well. Okay. So if you look at what we would call captive organizations, right? So captive organizations, they have at the captive organizations, they have what's called policyholder leads. So many of you might have been at a captive organization at one point in time in your life. You might have come from a captive organization, or maybe you work for a captive organization, on one side of your business, right? You're a broker, you just do this. Or if you're in the real estate business and all that, you're just working with Berkshire Hathaway on the real estate side, right? Or you're just an Allstate shop and that's all you do with Allstate, and that's it. So what they have is existing book of businesses that exist, right? They're policy holders. And those policy holders, there's so much value in working policyholders. So what other people in our space, let's say final expense life insurance, and in our space, they have what's called actual policyholder leads. So some organizations, American Income Life, that's one example, right? Lincoln Heritage, Old American, Senior Life, they have a new agent that comes on board. And because there's such a high turnover in this industry, so many people come and go and they fail, these clients are just, they become orphan clients. No one's taking care of them, right? And their agent failed, they quit the business, whatever it is. So they have what's called policyholder leads, right? They're literally, hey, go visit this policyholder, go see people, go sit down with them. What that does for you, even if you don't sell them, it makes you smile, right? And would you agree that a smiling salesperson is better than a person that's not smiling? I think a smiling salesperson is a lot better, right? They got a lot better personality. You smile when you go to the door, and it doesn't always matter what comes out of your mouth, because if you're smiling, they're smiling. And the more you get them to smile, the more that they're smiling, the more that you're smiling, the more they're smiling, you're smiling. It's like, yeah, I'd like this person. They're excited. I'm excited. I'm happy, which that can then carry over into the next person that you sit down with. Okay. So they work their book of business, not only as just, an individual, but they work their book of business as a captive organization as a whole. They literally send you out there every 6 months to go run those people that you already sat down with. In fact, it's non-negotiable. Okay. So in life, we have these things that are called non-negotiables, things that I have to do. I don't like going into the sauna. It is not fun. I'll tell you, I don't like it. It's not fun, right? I'm going to Google right now the average temperature of a sauna, and I will tell you it is hot. 150 to 195. Well, that's like average temperature out here in Texas, so I guess it ain't that bad. But 150 to 195 is the average temperature in that sauna, depending on how many times people open the door. And in the gym, I go to LA Fitness, and I'll tell you, some days I get in there, it feels like 195, right? I'll go run first. Maybe I'll get a couple miles in, have that heart rate up, sit down in there 3 miles. I don't like it at all. My knee hurts. I go in there. I want to complain, but I know that I have to do it. Why? Because I know that if I don't do it, I might not be here for when my son graduates high school. I know that in my family, there can be some people that have heart conditions, that cancer exists. So I say, it sucks, but I'm going to do it. So it's a non-negotiable for me. I have to go to the gym. That's it. Don't care. I got to go exercise. When I get home, I got to take a cold shower. That sucks, but it decreases the inflammation and it makes me happier, even though I don't enjoy it in the moment. Okay. So that's important, is to do these non-negotiables. A non-negotiable for you is going out to see the people that you once sold. So that's a non-negotiable. How could you literally sell someone and then never talk to them again? Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, I'm done. If you're in any other business, any other industry, right, you follow up that person. I think it is Oracle. And if it's not Oracle, it's IBM, that 98% of their business, their revenue, comes from existing clients. Like, that's it. That's their business. Like, boom, we're just getting it from our existing business. That's it. They're not even going out there and getting new business, new accounts, because all their business comes from inside. Because if you have a book of 1,000 clients, right, you constantly have people calling you, hey, we had a new grandbaby that was just born. Can you get us insurance? Right? You're constantly expanding on your existing book of business, and you're expanding it, right? And people die. And when one of your clients dies and you go to help them with a death claim, right, that can speak volumes to you. Now, sometimes I understand you don't always want to help with death claims and deal with the headaches of it. I get it, right? If it's a claim that's guaranteed to pay, we're good to go. It's past 2 years, go above and beyond for that family, because what can come back for you can come back tenfold in, hey, my family got a check for $15,000. You're our insurance guy. And do you know how long you're our insurance guy? For the rest of your life or for the rest of their life, whatever comes first. And that's what you want to be. So if you're just allowing clients to just slip through your fingers and go and become another agent's client, you're not doing the right thing by yourself, your family, your business, and the clients. Because I can't tell you, and all of y'all, if you were to raise your hands, y'all probably couldn't tell me how many times you've walked into a home and they have multiple different policies from multiple different agents, and someone didn't do their job. That's a terrible thing for them. For you, it's great, right? That's phenomenal for you. That's amazing. That's awesome. Good. I'm happy they didn't do their job because I'm going to. And when I leave, I look them in the eye and I tell them, I will be the last person you buy insurance from for the rest of your life, right? Anything you need with insurance, I am going to take care of it for you. And just be the individual, I would say for myself, I want to honor what I say. I want to be a man of my word for myself, right? It's internal. It's a non-negotiable for me. If I say I'm going to do something, I want to do it, right? And I want to live up to that. So if they call me, I'm going to answer the phone. I had a client, okay? And her name is Gwenford, okay? Gwenford. And she lives in she lives in North Carolina, Southern North Carolina. So I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, and she was like closer towards the border of South Carolina, North Carolina, but she was like out in the country. And I remember her, right? And I couldn't forget. It was a beautiful home. It was hard to get into the house. They didn't want to let me into the house. I had an appointment with the mother, not with the daughter, right? But I won them over. And when I went in that house, this is what I did. She had a policy with, what was it called? Not Kemper. Well, let's just say it was Kemper, right? And she had a policy there. And then she had another policy it was something like Liberty National or something like that, right? I mean, just these aren't massive companies, but they exist. And then I had sold her a policy, and she had the policy with Transamerica. And this was years ago. It's like 2017. Actually, in fact, it was 2018. It was 2018 when I sold it because I was able to pull up the applications. Okay. So when I went to this house, check this out. You guys are going to love this. This is a great example. When I went to this house in 2018, when I sold these policies to this client, okay, she had two different policies when I went in there. Okay. When I left, she had one policy. We did what's called reduced paid up insurance. Okay. When we reduce the face amount and we make the policy paid up, meaning you don't pay it anymore. It's paid up. You don't pay it. No more payments. Paid up. You don't got to pay it. Just like when you finish paying your car note, right? You pay your car note off, the car's paid up. Paid off, paid up. Same thing. So we did a reduced, you're going to love this when I get to the end of it. We did reduced paid up on the Kemper. That was about $4,000. We did a reduced paid up on the Liberty National. That was about $6,000. So she had $10,000 in reduced paid up insurance. And then I sold her a Transamerica policy in 2018, and she was paying a nice size premium, and it's a $9,000 policy, right? All said and done, actually, between the top two is around 11 grand. So she had a total of 11,000 for the paid up policies and then 9 grand with me. So she had a total of 20,000. The daughter said, hey, mom's trying to get on Medicaid. They need to know how much cash value she's got. Do you know how much cash value she's got in the policy that she has with you? I'm like, yep. Pulled it on up, looked at it, went on Transamerica's website, pulled up the account, got why did I do that? Why was I able to pull it up so quickly? Because I had a paper app from them that I went in my Dropbox. Just so you guys know, if you ever stole my Dropbox, the name of the folder is insurance clients, okay? It's hard to find. It's insurance clients. Went in there, type in the client's name, pull up the application, look at the app. I get the social. I look at the social. I put the social in to agent net info, the last 4 digits, pulls up the policy, tells me everything I need to know, the policy details. Perfect. Great. Because I wasn't good with the CRM then. I pulled up. She tells me mom needs to get on Medicaid. They need to know how much cash value that she's got in these policies. We got to take all the cash out. We got to do what's called a Medicaid spend down. Got to get rid of all the money, all the assets. And, we got to get rid of everything and the insurance and all that stuff. So once all those assets are gone, then Medicaid will kick in and they'll put mom in a nursing home. She's got a cancer. She got really bad cancer, and she's got a lot of like healthcare issues. They need in-home healthcare. The insurance company only pays for so much. So it's a really sad situation, but she had called me, and I have her number saved, and it says like Gwenford something, last name. And then, Janice Outlaw's daughter or something like that. The daughter's the one that called me. So now the policies are paid up, which means there's no cash value in the policies. You can't, there's cash value is the asset that Medicaid's trying to go after. Okay. So I go ahead and I help this client out and I take care of her and I make sure that she gets all the information that she needs. When she called me, I picked up the phone. Well, I texted her actually when she called me because I was on the phone with someone else. And I answered or I text her back. I said, hey, I'm on the other line. I'll call you as soon as I get free. Give me like a couple hours. I get maybe like 2 hours goes by. I call her on up. I talk to her. She's like, hey, this is so-and-so. I don't know if you remember me. And I'm like, Gwen, I cannot. How could I ever forget you? How is your mother doing? Right. Before I called her, first off, I look up everything. That way I know I can look at stuff. Right. I look at beneficiaries, stuff like that. And if you got notes, the more notes, the better. For me, I have a Transamerica application. That's it. So I got all that stuff. I look it up. I, do a little due diligence. I look at the address. I pull up Google Earth. I look at the address. I'm like, I remember that house. I can't forget. I have a pretty good memory, right? Pretty good memory. I remember a lot of different things. Unless my wife says it to me, then I don't remember it. I happen to forget. No, I'm just kidding. But what I will tell you is I remember it, right? And I try to remember as best I can. And I went through it and I helped her over the phone. Now, with this lady, I gave her such great and valuable information of what she needed to do for Medicaid, right? And what information that they need from her. And I helped her out as best as I could, right? She needs to cash in the Transamerica policy and cancel it. I said, hey, do you use email? She's like, yeah, I use email. All right, let me send you a copy of the policy. Let me send you over the forms that you need. When this lady thinks insurance and buying more insurance, who do you think she's going to call? Me, right? Yeah, I know, right? She's going to call me. Absolutely 110% she's going to call me. There is not another person that will cross her mind when she thinks of insurance, because not only was I responsive to her, which is incredibly important, I immediately texted her, right? So that way she knew that I was going to help her. When I get a moment, people understand, hey, listen, I'm busy right now, but I'm not an insurance company that's going to keep you on hold for an hour. You do whatever you need to do. I text her, hey, listen, I'm on the other line. Let me call you back as soon as I get free. Texted her. I gave her a little common courtesy, let her know. As soon as I was free, about a couple hours later, I call her back. I'm smiling. I'm talking to her. Hey, because you don't always know what the call is going to be about. The call could be about, hey, mom died. Can you help me file the death claim? The call could be about, hey, mom's doing really great. We got $20,000 of insurance, but we want to add another 30. Okay, another 30 is $250 a month. Perfect. We'll go ahead and we'll get that. I already trust you. You're an insurance guy. We've had you for about 4 years now. We love you, right? We love you. That's what we want. Responsive. Always, always. What I used to do is I used to just not answer the phone and go write more business. I used to just let policies just fall through the books, chargebacks, right? Didn't even care. Just keep going to the next person. Terrible way to run your business. It's called chasing your tail. You guys like chasing your tail? I see my dogs do it sometimes. I think it's funny. But what I will tell you is that, doing those little things can lead into big things. A client just called me. She has 15,000. She wants another 30 grand. Do you know why she called me? Because I stay in front of her. Because when she needs something, she texts me, I respond, right? I call her, get on the phone, talk to her, listen to whatever she needs to say. We're dealing with the senior market. And a lot of these people, they're lonely. They like to just talk sometimes, have a little conversation with them. So those are your policy holders, okay? Those are your policy holders. Go back and revisit them. Now, let's say, for example, because this is a question I get all the time too. What if I'm on a blitz? Like, okay, I live in North Texas and Dallas. You go as far west as you can go, right? All the way out there, northwest portion of Texas. You got a city, it's called Amarillo, right? You're getting pretty close to New Mexico there. They have snow. We don't have snow. They got snow over there. It's like, what? We're in Texas and they have snow? Crazy. And then you go South Texas and there's a beach. I don't know. The state is massive. You could drive 14 hours and be in the same state. I grew up in New York. You go 14 hours, you're in Canada. I mean, you can't drive 14 hours too far in New York. You're hitting all different states. So this state is crazy. So I drove 5 hours all the way out to Amarillo. I have a book of business there. Okay, so I got some clients. So I do what's called a blitz, which is a large amount of leads in a concentrated area, and I go sell a ton of clients. What do I do about that book of business? Well, that's a great question. So what I want to do with that book of business is I want to drop more mail there one day, right? So if I go there once every 6 months or at least once a year, now I can not only maintain a book of business, but I can grow a book of business there, right? So I can say, hey, I'm back in town. I told you I'm going to do my annual review. What do you tell a client you're always going to do? I'm going to follow up with you every year. Annual review. I'm going to follow up with you. Has anything that I've done here so far on this call revolved around anything that you actually have in a CRM? No, it's just talking to your clients. Phone number, address, name. That's all you need to follow up with them. But to sell them more insurance remotely when you're not with them, you need their social, their account routing number. You need to know their beneficiaries. You need to know their medications. You need to know any health conditions that they might have, right? You need to look at their existing policy. One time I had a client call me, okay? And when she had called me, I came out, I went to go see her in Garland, Texas. She lives in an apartment building. I can't forget it. There's a AutoZone right there, right? It's literally right behind the AutoZone. I go there and it's a 2-story apartment building. And I go sit down with her again. She's, just talking to me, wants some more insurance and stuff like that. When I went to go sit down with her first time, her policy came back graded, right? With one company. So I had to pivot to another one. It became a little bit more expensive. And because her health had gotten better, right? She was out of the 2-year window for the heart question, right? Where she was in the 1-year window then. I went back a year later. I was now able to get her a level death benefit instead of a graded death benefit. And now she's got no 2-year waiting period. She's got more insurance because she was already willing to spend more money, right? So now she's got more insurance. I make more money. I help her out. I put her in a better situation. Now, listen to this. I'm not going to roll my book of business. I don't recommend going to roll your book of business at all. Never do that. In fact, you'll get terminated from the carriers. But what I'm saying is sometimes you go back to clients that their health wasn't as good because they had a heart attack, right? Or it was 12 months ago. And then you go sit down with them for their annual review. Now it's 24 months. You could put them in a better situation and they're grateful. But in the end of the day, something's always better than nothing is what I tell them, right? Would you agree that having your family getting a check for $5,000 is better than $0? And they always agree, right? How could you say no to that? And if they say no to that, then literally just leave their house. Like, all right, great. It was nice to meet you. I'm out of here. Right? You don't care about your family. Congratulations. Awesome. Good for you. So now you got the clients. What do you say? All right. So let's go ahead and let's pull up. I'll just have the final expense worksheet. Okay. So let me give you an example. I wish I could do one live, but it's I probably wouldn't want to do that with all the client information, stuff like that. I think there's this thing called HIPAA. I don't know. Tim, is HIPAA okay with me calling clients live and doing sales over the phone with their social and account and routing number? I don't think so, but I don't know. Yeah, that sounds all right. Yeah, I don't think that I don't think the clients would like it, but I'll kind of go through my pitch. All right, so I call up the client. I'm on the phone with the client, and let's say the client's name is, let me just check, right? I just want to see if there's any Mary on this call. I say Mary, I say coffee. It's a little bit different because I was born and raised in New York. Tried to adopt to the South. I bought a lot of rifles and guns, so I think I'm a Southerner now. Let's see. So let's say Mary. So I go ahead and I call up Mary. And so I'm talking with Mary and I say, hey, Mary, how are you doing? She's like, great. Who's this? I'm like, this is Holden, your insurance man. I came by, I had that red car that was sat out front of your house. You're still over in North Carolina on such and such a street, 123 Main Street, building rapport, validating who I am. Got to get that trust level back. They may or may not remember me, right? But think about it, I'm about to go into their social, their account and routing number. I got all this information, I'm about to go into some policy details. They're like, no, I don't really remember you. Yeah, so you're over on 123 Main Street in Charlotte, North Carolina, right? 28205. But yeah. Oh, okay, great. Yeah. So I came by, and when I was at your house, right, I sat down and your granddaughter was there, the one that plays volleyball. You told me she was going to play some volleyball in college, right? Is she in college now? Yeah, she went off this past summer. Great. How's she doing? She's doing good. I'm happy to hear that. She's keeping the grades up because I know the athletes sometimes they just play sports. They don't always keep the grades up. No, she is doing great. She's got a 3.8 GPA. I am so happy for you, Miss Mary. Congratulations. Now, Miss Mary, you remember when I sat down at your house and you got that life insurance policy with XYZ insurance company. And I told you that I was going to follow up with you every single year, right? I told you that. Right now, what I want to do is I just want to follow up and just go through and just review everything that we have already. Okay. So right now, Miss Mary, you have a $15,000 policy with XYZ insurance company. They draft it out of your Bank of America account every single month on the 3rd of the month. You pay $57 a month for the $15,000. So I just want to make sure we got everything. Does that sound about right? Yeah. Okay, great. Now, on this policy here, I have your primary beneficiary as your granddaughter, the one you love so much that's out there in college. And I know you love her. That's why you're leaving her this money, because she's responsible. She's going to take care of everything, right? So your granddaughter. And her name is Alicia. Alicia Keys happens to be a phenomenal singer too. So we got Alicia Keys as your granddaughter here. Okay. I'm going to make up a good name over here. So we're going to go for the contingent beneficiary. So we'll get a good name for the contingent. So that's your granddaughter over there. Okay. Now, if you pass away, she's the primary beneficiary. So she gets 100%. She gets the full $15,000 check. We send it out to her. Okay. Within 24 hours. Okay. So I just want to make sure that's all right. You still want to keep her as the beneficiary. You do? Okay, great. Because you never know. Sometimes things happen in life. People want to change beneficiaries. That's my job. That's why I do this annual review. Okay. I don't know if someone's texted me or not to tell me what name I should go on the contingent beneficiary. Okay. So we have, oh, this is good. So then we have your grandson, who's a little reckless, Jerry Springer, as the contingent beneficiary. Okay. So Jerry over here, I know you said that he's the backup plan. God forbid. We call that a contingent beneficiary. That's a backup plan. God forbid if something were to happen, old Jerry's going to get the money to your granddaughter. So let's say, for example, you and your granddaughter pass away in the same car accident. Okay. The money would go to Jerry Springer, your grandson. Do you want to leave the money to Jerry still? No, he's in jail. Dang, what happened? Jerry Springer went to jail. No way. I would never have thought. That's crazy. Who would you like me to change that contingent beneficiary to? I'm going to give before I get real quick. All right, let me go ahead and write their name down. Okay. So that's Samuel Adams. Samuel Adams. That's a good guy. He's got some good lager. You know that? He's up in the north. I think that was a Massachusetts guy, wasn't he? Samuel Adams. That's, and what's Sam's relationship to you? All right. That is your other grandson. And how old is he? He's 17. Okay, cool. And do you happen to know his date of birth off the top of your head? All right. 9/7/91. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, and because I have Notability, I'm going to copy and paste your signature. No, I'm just kidding. Because I have all this information, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on a form and I'm going to mail it to you. Okay. And it's already going to have all the information. Everything's going to be filled out already. All I need you to do is I want to put a little sticky on there. Okay. And that sticky is going to point right to, it's just going to be like a little arrow, just like one of those little arrows. And it's going to point exactly to where you need to sign. Just one line. And that's all you're going to need to sign. Sign that one line. Okay. And then you're going to put it back in the envelope, and I'm already going to put a stamp on it. Okay. Do you know why I'm going to put a stamp on it? Because I like you. And I don't want you to have to pay for a stamp. Those things, you see how expensive gas prices are these days? It's crazy. It's about 57 cents for a stamp these days, if not more. I think it's going up again. I think it just went up again. So I'm going to send you that. You just go ahead and sign that and put it back in the envelope. Now, does that sound all right with you? Perfect. Now, I do have to confirm over here that you also, I remember last time we were sitting down, you took a couple medications. We have 3 medications over here. We have quidapine, amlodipine, and atorvastatin. Do you still take those 3? No, they took me off the amlodipine. Great. It's good to hear. And you're still on the quidapine and atorvastatin. Do you take any other medications right now? Has anything changed with that at all? No. That's good to hear. So you got your blood pressure down. How'd you do that? Man, I just started taking a shot of white vinegar a day. That's an old school Italian thing. I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't even know that word. Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. So I remember when we sat down, Miss Mary, okay, that I showed you 3 different options, right? And what you did at that point in time was you chose the option that was the most affordable for your budget, okay? Then, but I know you did tell me too, and this is whether they did or they didn't. It doesn't matter. You always say this. They don't remember if they did or they didn't. They don't remember what they ate for breakfast. I don't remember what I ate for breakfast because I fast and I don't eat breakfast. So with that said, I figured Tim might smile there. You get a little smile out of Tim Below there. So with that said, I know that 15,000 is good and it's what you can afford and fit in your budget. But my job is to make sure that you understand with the rising cost of everything, gas prices tripling in just a few years, that it might cost you more money in the future to have the same funeral in those arrangements. And in fact, your granddaughter, she might be going to college. She might get some student loans. I don't know. She may or may not. You might just want to leave a little extra to your granddaughter because you love her so much. You don't want all that money just going to pay for a dang funeral, right? So when we sat down, I showed you those three most common options. You chose the one that was most affordable for you. So what I want to do is I just want to give you some options to see if we could go ahead and upgrade your coverage. Okay. So adding in an additional 5,000, okay, that would only be around 25 bucks a month. Adding in an additional 10,000, okay, that would only be around $50 a month. And then adding in an additional 15,000, that would only be $75 a month. So based on those three options, Miss Mary, which one would you like me to add today? And keep in mind, we don't start it till the third of the month, just like we did last time. So I'm not collecting any money or anything like that. You don't pay anything till next month. Let me add in the 5,000. Congratulations, agents. You just made $300 more than you didn't make by not dialing your own book of business. It's that simple. It's as easy as it is. No, I don't want to add anything right now. Great. Like I said, it's my job. I just got to call you every single year, like I told you, and just go over everything and just review the policy. So could you do me a favor? Can you just save this number to make sure that you got my phone number in there? What I'm going to do is I'm going to text you my first and last name and insurance, man. So that way you can't forget me. So just copy and paste that all, just put it, save the contact so we don't forget. Okay. The 704 area code, that's my direct cell phone. I'm going to send you out some cards that you also have my business number on. It's a 214 area code. That way you got both, right? So you can't get me here, you get me here. I'm always going to be in front of you, stay in contact with you. All right. So I'm going to send out that form to you for the beneficiary. You go ahead, you fill it out, you send it back in, and I'll send it over to the insurance company. Does that sound like a deal? Great. Well, I appreciate your time. Boom, done. So if they don't want insurance, okay, all you got to do, thank them, tell them you can call them back, get to the next person. Boom, done. That's it. That's as simple as it is. So the pitch isn't overwhelmingly complex, right? And then you would just do an application, for that. Phil McReeves, I like that. So let's see. So yeah, I was just looking in the comments real quick. We got some good stuff going on. Yeah, Google Sheets. So as far as like a CRM goes, guys, yeah, Google Sheets. I always get signatures and Notability. Okay. I don't think I need to explain why it's so important to always get a signature and Notability, which is why I made a legitimate, nice looking form for them to look at and sign. Hey, can you just confirm all the information on here? Right. Keep in mind, clients don't know what filling the application process out is like. They don't know if it takes 10 minutes to do an e-application or 2 minutes to do an e-application. They don't know how long it takes. They don't know if it's going to take 30 minutes to do an e-application. They got no idea. They don't know. They only know what you tell them. And when you have a strong poker face to make sure that if an app comes back graded instead of a level death benefit, oh no, what do I do? Maintain premium, adjust face amount, or pivot to the next carrier and start writing other apps. That's it. That's why I tell people, yeah, this one's around 55. This one's around $68 a month. Okay. But you're probably like me, Miss Mary, right? Whenever you do your bills, you just round it up to $70 a month anyways. I mean, a $65 bill, you round it up to 70, right? You get them in agreement with you. Great. So this one's going to be $70 a month for the 10,000. Perfect. Okay. So that's really important over there. All right. So what I want to do now is Notability. She says, what is Notability? Notability is an application on an iPad, only on an iPad, where you can go ahead and you can export PDFs. And those PDFs you can then write on the screen using an Apple Pencil. So you use the Apple Pencil and you can go ahead and pull stuff up on the screen and you can write on it. So you can handwrite, you can type on the application, and you can get the client's signature on the application. Do you think it's better to have the client's signature or not? Okay. So if you ever needed to move their name around from one line to another, right, you can copy and paste and move it. Let's say there's two places where you need their name. You can circle over it and move their name around or stuff like that. So as some examples for y'all of what you could do. All right. So let's go ahead and take some questions here. We'll take some questions, raise hand, unmute, whatever you want to do. I'll check my phone to see if anyone's got some questions. Sweet. Okay. All right. All right. Better to add iPad or laptop. Yeah, Will, for yourself, everything that you can do on an iPad as well. And whenever you meet clients face to face, it's always good to have Notability, just to have that actual signature on there. Sometimes you get amendments and you never really want to go back out to the client to go ahead and get another signature and stuff like that. So it can be a headache. So you call the client, hey, I want to go ahead and, get this done. The insurance company needs something else. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to submit it to them. Good news is I can do it all electronically, is what you tell the client. So adding in an iPad never hurts. And you can also get you can have cellular on it. And in addition to that, you can have a keyboard so you can type on it and make it like an actual a computer in and of itself. So just got a lot more functionality to it that I like. So I have a desktop, I have a laptop, I have a iPad, and then my iPhone. So I got a little bit of everything. So yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree with that. CRM. Yeah. So Mr. Tim, CRM. I'm not the best with CRMs, so I wouldn't even be the best advice. John Peterson, he is the guy with CRMs. He is amazing when it comes to technology, better than I am. And he's awesome with that stuff. So, but just like me, right? What I do, my system might not work for you. Tim's system might not work for you, but I use what's called Monday.com. And Monday is a project management tool that is very user-friendly. You can make it and build it the way that you want. You can add drop downs. You can add a lot of stuff. I like it for functionality purposes. It's not the sole, it's a project management tool. So the sole purpose of it isn't just solely a CRM, but you can use Zoho, ZOHO, less annoying. I got to find someone to pay me to recommend the CRM. Actually, that's what I got to do.
There you go.
Right. So I'll let you guys know. Let me get some endorsements.
Go Monday.com.
Yeah. Go. Yeah. MON. Yeah. Monday.com. Yeah.
And what was the other one?
Zoho, ZOHO. Okay. So Philip, you can find that on my website, which is Final Expense Mastery, MASTERY, finalexpensemastery.com. And on there, you just go ahead and you can get that. Yeah. Less annoying. Less annoying makes your business less annoying. Or does it make your clients less annoying? I don't know. Maybe it does both. What do you think? Does it do both or does it just do one? Yeah. So less annoying is another CRM. What's the old saying in sales? Keep it simple, stupid. I think that's the saying that's applicable to this. Just keep it as basic as possible. Keep it as basic as possible. John, what's a BA? What has a BAA? What's a BAA? I probably know what it is, and I feel like an idiot asking it, but what is a BAA, John? I don't know. Don't know. Or is it like a sheep, like a ba? I don't know what a BA is, but I'm sure he'll type in a second. So yeah, so as far as that goes, everyone, yeah, you can use anything. You could use something that's incredibly basic, but just make sure you're storing all the important data in there. So it's very, very important for me. Like I said, hey, everything on the final expense worksheet, even if you don't, do the worksheet itself, even if you're not getting signatures, just make sure you have all that data on there. That's the key. We need to make sure that we have all that information, because all that information is what's going to help you to write more apps remotely, right? When you're not with the client, and just continue to work that book of business. If you were to write an extra like 30 apps a year and you were averaging only $600 on those 30 apps, what's 30 times $600? You just made an extra 18 grand by doing something that if you don't do, another agent's going to do, right? So you're at risk of having someone else work your book of business, one. And two, you're going to add extra income for you, your business, and for your family. So I highly recommend doing that and stay in touch with them frequently. I'm not saying that you have to do what Edward was talking about, Mendez, when we were on the call, and go all out and do the send out cards and doing all that stuff. Start with something basic, start with something inexpensive or free, right? Start with something that costs little to nothing, right? On your iPad, you download Notability, you got the FE client worksheet. You save that to your Dropbox, you save it to Google Cloud, whatever it is, you store it, right? So you save that stuff, you got it. Google Sheets, like John just said. And then there you go. It's HIPAA compliant. So that's perfect. And I'm sure all CRMs that you're buying anyways are going to have what John just said, business associate agreement, making sure that it's HIPAA compliant for professionals, covered business entities, sample. Okay. So yeah, so that's important, right? So all that stuff's going to be compliant in there. Otherwise they wouldn't be in business, I'm sure anyways. So they're going to make sure they do that. So it's important for you all to understand that just, start with something basic and we can scale it up, right? You could scale it up. Handwritten cards is a great way to start. And in the future, then you can go to cards that aren't handwritten. Okay. So with that said, does anyone have any questions? Crystal, what you got? Crystal, you unmuted or you didn't mean to unmute? I don't know. Okay, okay. Anyone else have any other questions? Yep, Crystal, there you go. You're unmuted now, Crystal. But I can't hear you, so I don't know if you're trying to say anything or not. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. I don't know. Crystal, we can't hear you. If you are, type it in the group chat there because we can't hear you. If anyone else has any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask. Group chat over there, you can ask questions. If not, we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up because I appreciate everyone as per usual for hopping on. Keep it basic, make more money, doing the same exact thing that you're doing, add a little bit extra steps, and then we'll be able to help you all out and just make some more money. Always ask questions. No such thing as a dumb question. The only dumb thing to do is not ask a question. So I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the time with your family.